Alright, it's Thursday, September 12th, 2024. It's 7:20 in the morning. So Hurricane Francine came through here last night. We're in South Louisiana. We were right in the middle of the track of the hurricane. We started to have our power flicker on and off constantly at around 8:15 last night, and after it went on and off several times in a row, decided that wasn't good for the appliances and everything, so we turned off the power at the main and then powered up the generator at 8:20 last night with a full tank of gas. Ran the refrigerator, 14,000 BTU portable AC, and 4 floor fans, and it ran almost 8 hours. It went off somewhere between 7 and 8 hours, but I think it was closer to 8. So now we're getting ready to go to work, so we know what it'll do on a full tank of gas, which I don't know, that's about 4 gallons. Yeah, I would say it's probably 4 gallons or so, because I still have some left in a 5 gallon, it might be 4.5 gallons, something like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hook up this propane. So when you, just a couple of quick tips. So before on power outages, I've realized if you have a Nest thermostat or something like that, they can lose their internal battery power. So I pull that off the wall. Ours has a mini USB charger, so I go ahead and charge that up while the power's off. Also, our generator is venting here, and then 10 feet away I got my air intake for my portable AC. I don't want to introduce carbon monoxide into the house, so I put the carbon monoxide detector that was normally plugged in the kitchen, I plugged it into that. Alright, so if carbon monoxide were to be took into where we're sleeping, we'd all die. So you definitely want a carbon monoxide detector if you're going to use a generator, and then also have an air intake somewhere. So our carbon monoxide reading was 0, so we're good, but I'm still going to do that every time. So normally, and also the other thing is, don't think you can come out and check your gas gauge and keep everything on by adding fuel. These vibrate too much. You can't add fuel while they're running anyway. So every time they need fuel, you're going to have to shut everything down for a little bit. So you can either do that on your own or just let it run out. So we let ours run out. So normally if I was putting fuel in it, I would fuel it up while it's off. I would unplug the refrigerator cord. The other ones could stay in because when I turn them on, there's not going to be any load on them. All our fans and everything are push button, so they would need to be turned on again anyway. So there's not going to be any load on those other items, but there is on the refrigerator. So I would start it up, get it started up, then I would plug in the refrigerator cord, which is this one, and then I would go in the house and start turning the other things on. So what we're going to do is switch this over to propane. So you'll come over to here, we'll show you how we do that on this dual fuel. So this is the fuel setting. We would leave it there if we were going to put gas in it and run the fuel. This is a propane setting over here. This is fuel. This is to cut your fuel supply off when you want to empty out your carburetor. This is the storage position of off, and this is my propane position. Also, I learned from previous videos and reading the manual, you do need to choke the propane on this model. So I'm going to turn my choke back on, and I'm going to start it up with the choke exactly like I do the gas. So let's see. So what we have here is this came with the unit. This part right here comes with the unit. So this is gonna go on my propane. I did purchase this little propane gauge on Amazon right here. I'll put links in the description to items that I use. I'll try to find that little gauge. So it's supposed to tell me about how much propane is in that tank. I also bought this base, so it kind of stabilizes a propane tank. I just bought one base and I'll, use it for all the tanks. Okay, so I got that on. This plugs in right here. Here's your propane symbol. That green is your propane symbol. You've got this black plastic and you've got this hole right here. Align this black plastic piece with that hole so it'll allow this to snap in. See how that snaps in? So that's a secure connection. I've already unplugged my refrigerator, so I'll be starting it up with no load. I'm going to move this a little bit out of my way of my full start. Oh, it'd help if I opened up my propane tank. I'm going to open that up all the way. I'm going to try taking the choke off a little bit. Okay. Alright, so after I had it on choke, because I knew I needed to prime it, but evidently it doesn't give you that start of a sound like it's going to start like with the gas. So after about 10 pulls or so, I just put the choke off all the way and it started right up. So I'm not used to using the propane. It's only the second time I've ever started it with the propane, so I'll just have to get used to that. So I would put the choke on and pull it like 4 times, then turn the choke off and try it. That's what I'll do next time. That'll get it through this black hose and everything. So now that we have it running, I'm going to start all the stuff that's coming off of here should not be on right now. This is our refrigerator. Everything that's on this, the only thing that's on this is the Wi-Fi router. And then all the floor fans and the portable AC will turn on. One thing to note about propane, on gasoline, it's rated for 4,250 watts and 3,500 running watts. But on propane, you lose. It's still 4,250 starting, but the running watts go down to 3,150. So, it's about a 10% drop in power on the propane. This propane bottle was new, and the only time it's been ran is the experiment I did with the propane many months ago. So it's mostly full. You can kind of get the gauge over here. The gauge, this is full, so we're, almost full. So we'll see how long that lasts. Alright, so this morning before I went to work, we had gotten the generator running on propane. And then we were going to test how long one of these propane bottles lasts, how many hours of runtime we got. And fortunately, we still don't have the answer to that. We ran it for about 3 hours and 10 minutes or so, and power was restored. So what I'm doing in a little note section on my phone is I am keeping track of how much runtime is on this propane tank, so that the next time we use it, we can keep track, and I'll end up being able to figure that out. So trying to figure out, how much a tank of gas lasts. We found that it will go over 7 hours, and then we're going to find out how much one of these propane tanks lasts. So anyway, we're very pleased with the performance of the generator and feel blessed to have come through the hurricane like we did. Thankful to God for protecting us, providing for us, and It's my first hurricane. Having a generator and the ability to sleep in comfort was just a blessing, and not having to worry about food spoiling. So I highly recommend picking up something like that if you can afford it, because really you can get a good generator for, you know, somewhere around $450 to $600 range. This price fluctuates. 3 years ago when I bought it, it was like $620. The year after that, it went up over $900, and then when I checked this week, it's under $500. So, but anyway, I can definitely recommend the Champion brand. They start on one pull, and except when I've been figuring out how to start it with propane. But on gas, it starts with one pull. After I figure the propane out, probably get it on 3 or 4 pulls. So, anyway, I hope that's been helpful, and thank you for watching.